The company was a $50 million, 500 employee and profitable US-based government services contractor who wished to increase the valuation of their company through product revenues. The problem was they had no brand, a very small installed base of only large security and defense agencies within the US government, no experience with products, no experience with commercial markets, and no business outside of the US. I was brought on to develop a product-oriented division of the company which would increase the value of the company through the higher valued product-oriented revenues. Due to cultural differences in investment levels between the government services business and a commercial product business, we had to work relatively fast. We put about 80 partially developed product ideas that the parent company had up on a whiteboard and reviewed them. Some of them were hardware, some of them were software. It became obvious to me that the core competencies of the parent company were in the software area. So I quickly, after a little bit of market research, chose two of the product categories to further develop and focus on, which eventually turned out to be one too many, as I'll discuss later. One of these products we released into the marketplace, and once again, because of those limited investment levels and some pressure from the parent company, we initially released a substandard first product. But we took the market knowledge that we gained using this first product in the marketplace to create a much better second release and an absolutely great third release. This product became a big hit. We were able to market it very effectively in the US through direct methods and later on through channel methods. We also went to the international markets quite early relative to other software startup activities. And we were able to do this by utilizing partnerships with distributors across the world. The last thing that was very important in this assignment was that we did an acquisition of another software company after we had already established our brand and distribution channels that brought us some key technical talent, as well as 4 new products that we could sell under our brand and the distribution channels that we had created. There were many takeaways and key success factors associated with this assignment. First and foremost, startups are hard. It's important to recognize this. Even though they're fun and rewarding, it takes almost total commitment to be successful. The end result of this is it's very important to hire staff that can meet this commitment level if you're going to be successful. We were able to accomplish this. Another important key success factor is you must have the proper level of funding to optimize the results. As I've discussed several times during this presentation, we had some key differences between government services and commercial software products in terms of the normal level of fundings that are comfortable. We were able to overcome these differences by being very efficient and using some creative methods such as a lot of partnering to overcome them. But it's important to realize that if we'd have funded the operation more effectively from the beginning, there would have been a higher return to the parent company. Focus is also very critical in developing any new business. As I mentioned, I initially focused on 2 software products, but it turned out that we didn't have the resources to do both. So I quickly rectified that issue, focused back down to the one much higher potential product, which eventually became a big hit and was the core product that we built the business on. Cultural issues also can't be ignored. Cultural issues are usually thought of as differences between people in different regions, but there's many different types of cultural differences. We faced a lot of hurdles between the government services culture and the software product culture. We were eventually able to overcome those, but it took a lot of patience on my part, as well as more communication than you would normally associate in this type of business environment. There's also a lot of low-hanging fruit internationally that early-stage businesses tend to ignore when they focus on their domestic market at first. I took us internationally very early, utilizing partnerships, and this turned out to be one of the key success factors that we use to grow much faster than our competitors. Finally, it's important to be able to adjust the strategy as you go. In any new business development, the unforeseen circumstances will far outweigh the expected. I was able to keep the business nimble and open to out-of-the-box ideas, and we adjusted our course when things didn't turn out as they planned. Within 3 years, we built a new business unit for the company, which diversified it into higher valued software product revenues. The division reached profitability in less than 2 years, grew revenues in excess of 400% several years running, and increased the valuation of the company even though the government services division were shrinking during this same period.